Postdoctoral researcher Kathleen Quach has spent a lot of time watching a worm called Pea Pacificus, an omnivorous creature that's only 1 millimeter long. What she's found is that with a brain made of only about 300 neurons, these tiny creatures can view a situation and make a decision.
Worms can do cost-benefit analyses. They can weigh the costs and benefits of pursuing an action and what they get in return. And they can do this in very complex ways. That's not a very human thing. It's not a very vertebrate thing. It's something that they can do as well.
The decisions Pea Pacificus makes involve its behavior toward a competing species of worm, which we'll call worm 2. Salk neurobiologist Srikant Chalasani is the senior author of a paper about this research that appeared in the March edition of Current Biology. He says the Pea Pacificus was put in a place where it could eat either bacteria or the larva of worm 2. It was also faced by adult worm 2s that were hard to eat, and it really wanted to frighten away.
Is the juvenile going to compete with me for the same bacteria or not going to compete with me? Is the adult going to compete with me or not? Is that adult going to have lots of babies and then outcompete me and my progeny? And then based on all of this calculation, decide a particular course of action. And that complexity, it was really surprising for us.
The research isn't just about worms. Quach says mapping the brain signals of simple creatures helps us understand how the human brain works. And maybe it could help us understand the workings of artificial intelligence. Chalasani says driverless cars, for instance, need to make decisions about whether to speed up or shift lanes based on the environment.
You may not need a lot of complex calculations. You might be able to do it using a biological system. And the biological system can then teach us something about how we can redesign or re-engineer our artificial networks to make complex decisions.
So a driverless car may only need the brain of a worm?
Maybe. I'm being cautious here because the worm is not trying to drive a car.
By the way, if you think studies of worms are not in the scientific big leagues, you should know that worms like those in the Salk study have been the subjects of studies that have won 3 Nobel Prizes. Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.